Ladies and gentlemen, the world is changing faster than ever before. In business, in technology, in politics, what was true yesterday may not be true tomorrow. But one thing is certain, no great power, no continent, no global alliance can succeed alone. We are entering an age where connections matter more than control, where partnerships matter more than dominance, and where the countries you once overlooked might just hold the future in their hands. When we talk about Pakistan, many people see only headlines, challenges, or stereotypes. But if you look deeper, if you study carefully how the world works in 2025, you will realize something remarkable. The West cannot move forward without Pakistan. It is not about military strength. It is not only about population size. It is about being positioned at the very heart of the world's energy, trade, security, and climate crossroads. It is about playing a role that nobody else can replace. Think about it. A country that connects South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East. A nation that has faced terrorism, natural disasters, and global pressures, but still stands strong, still building, still connecting, still influencing. This is not weakness, this is resilience. And resilience is what Europe and the West as a whole need the most today. I want you to listen with an open mind, because this is not just about politics or strategy. It is about opportunity. It is about how Europe can find new markets, new partners, new energy routes, and even new solutions to climate and migration challenges by working with Pakistan. It is about how a hidden alliance is already shaping the future of the world, even if most people do not yet see it. Stay with me till the very end, because what I'm going to share with you is not theory. It is the reality of why the next chapter of global power cannot be written without Pakistan. And once you understand this, you will see why the West has no choice but to recognize the value of this partnership, and why Europe must act today, not tomorrow. Pakistan's position on the world map is not just about geography. It is about power, opportunity, and influence. Few countries can claim to be situated at such a critical crossroads where South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East converge. This unique placement gives Pakistan a natural advantage that directly impacts global trade, energy routes, and security dynamics. In 2025, as the West looks to rebuild supply chains, secure energy resources, and ensure connectivity with Asia, Pakistan emerges as an indispensable link that no serious power can ignore. Gwadar Port, located at the mouth of the Persian Gulf, is one of the most strategically significant deep-sea ports in the world. For Europe, which depends heavily on secure maritime trade routes, Gwadar offers not just access to the Arabian Sea, but also a shorter and safer pathway to the Middle East, Africa, and beyond. In times when supply chain disruptions have shaken economies, having alternative trade corridors is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. Pakistan's location provides Europe with exactly that, a chance to diversify and strengthen its connectivity with the East. Beyond trade routes, energy security has become the heart of Europe's strategic thinking. The crisis in Ukraine, disruptions in oil supplies, and the volatility of global markets have highlighted how vulnerable the West is to dependency on single regions. Pakistan's geography makes it the ideal transit hub for energy pipelines from Iran, Central Asia, and even China. Projects linking Caspian resources to South Asia can only move through Pakistan, and those same routes can be extended to meet Europe's demand for diversified energy flows. In a world shifting toward multipolar competition, Pakistan's transit corridors are far more than lines on a map. They are lifelines for economies thousands of miles away. Equally important is Pakistan's role as a bridge between regions that Europe must engage with for stability. It connects the Muslim world with Asia. It borders a nuclear power in India, and it lies close to the heart of global energy reserves in the Gulf. These overlapping spheres of influence converge inside Pakistan's geography, giving it a leverage few others possess. For Europe, building alliances and securing cooperation with Pakistan means access not only to markets and energy, but also to a balancing force in a volatile region. Energy has become the backbone of global politics. And in 2025, it is no longer just about securing oil and gas. It is about finding stable, diversified, and sustainable supply chains. For Europe, this challenge has become urgent after years of dependency on limited sources and the constant disruptions caused by geopolitical tensions. Pakistan stands at the very center of new possibilities because of its role as a natural transit hub for energy and resources. Its location allows it to connect Central Asia's vast reserves, the Middle East's oil and gas, and even renewable energy initiatives from South Asia into routes that can eventually reach Europe. This makes Pakistan not simply a consumer or regional player, but a critical enabler of the West's long-term energy security. One of the most significant aspects of Pakistan's importance is its proximity to energy-rich regions. Central Asia holds massive untapped reserves of natural gas and oil, but without secure and cost-efficient transit routes, these resources remain landlocked. Pakistan offers the shortest path to the Arabian Sea, turning those landlocked reserves into global commodities. Projects like the Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India TIP pipeline and potential links to Iran's natural gas fields highlight how Pakistan can function as a vital corridor that bridges the energy wealth of Asia with Europe's urgent demand for diversification. Gwadar Port again plays a central role not only as a trade gateway, but as a potential energy hub. The idea of oil and gas pipelines terminating at Gwadar, coupled with energy transport infrastructure, gives Europe access to alternative supply chains that bypass choke points like the Strait of Hormuz or the Suez Canal, both of which are vulnerable to global tensions. By engaging with the Pakistan, Europe secures a more reliable and less politically fragile energy corridor. Pakistan is not only a route for fossil fuels, it is also emerging in the conversation about renewable energy transitions. With abundant solar and wind resources, Pakistan is investing in green energy projects that could, with the right cooperation, tie into regional grids supplying electricity across borders. As Europe pushes hard toward its green transition goals, partnerships with Pakistan could mean not just securing traditional energy, but also accelerating global clean energy cooperation. The global race for resources is no longer just about possession, but about access. And in this race, Pakistan's geography and infrastructure give it unmatched leverage. Europe's ability to maintain stable energy supplies in an unpredictable world increasingly depends on engaging with Pakistan's corridors, its ports, and its partnerships. Security has become one of the most critical pillars of global stability, and Pakistan occupies a position that directly influences the safety of Europe and the wider world. For decades, Pakistan has been at the forefront of counterterrorism efforts, facing challenges that few other nations have confronted on such a scale. Its experience in dismantling extremist networks, securing volatile borders, and balancing regional dynamics has turned it into a key security partner for the West, even when that role has not been fully acknowledged. In 2025, as threats evolve beyond borders and as Europe seeks to protect itself from extremism, organized crime, and instability emanating from fragile regions, Pakistan's role remains indispensable. One of the clearest examples is Afghanistan. After decades of conflict, the stability of Afghanistan is tied to Pakistan's policies, intelligence, and border management. Europe's security interests are directly affected by what happens in Afghanistan, from the prevention of extremist safe havens to the control of migration flows. Pakistan's deep involvement in negotiations, stabilization efforts, and the practical enforcement of security across one of the world's most difficult borders means that without Pakistan's cooperation, Europe's own efforts to contain threats would be far less effective. Moreover, Pakistan has developed one of the most capable military and intelligence networks in the region, built through decades of direct confrontation with terrorism. The West has relied heavily on Pakistan's intelligence sharing, drone coordination, and counterterrorism operations to dismantle global terror networks. While this cooperation has often been behind the scenes, its impact is visible in reduced global threats. For Europe, where even a single act of terrorism can shake entire societies, having Pakistan as a partner in preemptive security measures is not optional, it is vital. Beyond terrorism, Pakistan's role in nuclear security and regional stability adds another layer of importance. Sitting next to India and close to Iran, Pakistan is part of a nuclear neighborhood where any miscalculation can have global consequences. Its ability to act as both a deterrent and a stabilizer makes it critical for European policymakers who aim to avoid escalation in South Asia. Europe benefits when Pakistan is engaged, stable, and aligned with broader security goals, because instability in South Asia quickly spills over into Europe through migration, economic disruptions, or extremist movements. Security today is not local, but interconnected, and Pakistan stands at one of the key intersections. Its sacrifices, its intelligence capabilities, and its strategic position ensure that Europe's safety is linked to how effectively it works with Pakistan in building a safer, more stable global order. Pakistan's economic potential is one of the most underestimated aspects of its global importance. Yet it is rapidly becoming clear that its role as a trade and economic partner cannot be ignored in 2025. With a population of more than 240 million, most of whom are young and increasingly connected to the digital world, Pakistan represents not only a massive consumer market, but also a growing labor force ready to integrate into the global economy. For Europe, which is constantly searching for new trade partners and competitive supply chains, Pakistan offers opportunities that extend beyond traditional trade to innovation, technology, and industry. So one of the key factors driving this opportunity is Pakistan's demographic advantage. A young and energetic workforce means the country is naturally positioned to fuel industries that require both talent and adaptability. European companies facing challenges of aging populations and rising labor costs can benefit from Pakistan's human capital, whether through outsourcing, joint ventures, or investments in local industries. The shift in global supply chains away from overdependence on China has already encouraged Europe to look for new partners, and Pakistan, with its strategic location and affordable workforce, fits this new direction perfectly. Pakistan's economy is also in the midst of digital transformation, with rising internet penetration, a booming startup culture, and government support for digital initiatives. Sectors such as e-commerce, fintech, and IT services are expanding rapidly. Europe can tap into these opportunities by fostering partnerships with Pakistani firms, investing in tech incubators, and creating bilateral frameworks that support innovation. As Europe itself pushes toward digital growth, collaboration with Pakistan provides access to fresh ideas and scalable solutions at competitive costs. The trade potential is further amplified by Pakistan's connectivity to major regional markets. Through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, Pakistan is building infrastructure that connects it more deeply with Central Asia, the Middle East, and beyond. For Europe, this translates into more efficient access to diverse markets through a single partner. Pakistan is not just a country to export to or import from. It is a gateway into broader economic networks that stretch across multiple regions critical to Europe's interests. Agriculture and textiles remain core industries in Pakistan, and these sectors align strongly with European demand, from cotton to leather goods and from IT services to renewable energy equipment. Pakistan provides products and services that Europe needs to sustain growth and diversify its economic partnerships. When combined with investment opportunities in renewable energy, infrastructure, and green technologies, Pakistan offers Europe not only immediate trade benefits, but also long-term economic resilience. Climate change has become one of the greatest challenges of our time, and Pakistan stands at the front line of its devastating impact. In recent years, the country has experienced catastrophic floods, rising temperatures, water shortages, and unpredictable weather patterns that have displaced millions of people. For Europe, this is not a distant issue, but a reality that directly affects its own stability. Migration pressures, food insecurity, and disrupted global supply chains caused by climate disasters in countries like Pakistan inevitably ripple into Europe. In 2025, cooperation between Europe and Pakistan on climate adaptation and resilience is not just an act of goodwill. It is a matter of shared survival. One of the most pressing concerns is migration. When climate disasters strike, communities are displaced and populations move in search of safer environments and economic stability. Pakistan, already housing one of the largest refugee populations in the world, cannot bear this burden alone. If unmanaged, these migration flows eventually extend toward Europe, creating political, social, and economic challenges. By supporting Pakistan in climate resilience, renewable energy projects, and sustainable agriculture, Europe is in fact protecting itself from the destabilizing effects of uncontrolled migration. Water management is another dimension that highlights Pakistan's importance. The country depends heavily on the Indus River system, which is increasingly vulnerable to melting glaciers, erratic rainfall, and overuse. Water insecurity can quickly lead to regional instability, food shortages, and cross-border tensions, all of which affect Europe's interest in global stability. By engaging with Pakistan on modern water management systems, clean energy, and agricultural reforms, Europe can contribute to a more secure environment while building partnerships that strengthen both sides. At the same time, Pakistan offers an opportunity to collaborate on the global green transition. With abundant solar, wind, and hydropower potential, the country is a natural candidate for renewable energy investments. Europe, pushing to reduce its carbon footprint and diversify energy sources, can benefit by investing in Pakistan's renewable sector, creating both sustainable solutions and new markets for green technologies. Such cooperation not only reduces emissions globally, but also fosters economic growth in Pakistan, reducing the risks that instability might otherwise create. The reality of climate change proves that no nation can act alone. Pakistan's struggles and successes in managing climate challenges would directly influence Europe's future, whether in terms of migration, energy, or global stability. By recognizing Pakistan as a partner in this shared fight, Europe secures not only its humanitarian values, but also its strategic interests in a changing world. In the global order in 2025 is no longer defined by the dominance of one or two superpowers, but by a multipolar reality where influence is spread across regions, alliances, and emerging economies. In this shifting balance, Pakistan holds a unique position because of its ability to engage simultaneously with multiple power centers, its growing partnerships with China through the Belt and Road Initiative, its strategic relationship with Russia, and its deep cultural and political connections with the Muslim world make it a bridge that the West cannot afford to overlook. For Europe, engaging with Pakistan is not simply about maintaining bilateral ties. It is about ensuring a place at the table where future global decisions are shaped. Pakistan's alignment with China has already transformed its economic landscape through infrastructure projects and trade corridors. These developments extend China's influence deep into South Asia and the Arabian Sea, and by extension, impact Europe's own access to markets and resources. If Europe ignores Pakistan, it risks allowing China to dominate a region that directly connects to Europe's supply chains and trade routes. At the same time, Pakistan has built ties with Russia, particularly in the energy sector, which further diversifies its global partnerships. This ability to balance East and West gives Pakistan leverage that few countries of its size possess. Beyond economic and security alliances, Pakistan's role in the Muslim world adds another dimension. As one of the largest Muslim-majority nations with a nuclear capability, it is a natural leader in Islamic diplomacy. Its voice carries weight in forums such as the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and its influence can help mediate conflicts and foster cooperation across the Middle East. For Europe, which often struggles to engage constructively with the Muslim world, Pakistan can serve as a trusted partner and intermediary. Diplomatic leverage also comes from Pakistan's capacity to act as a stabilizer in times of crisis, whether in Afghanistan, between Gulf states, or in dialogues involving Iran. Pakistan's involvement ensures that negotiations are grounded in regional realities. Europe benefits when Pakistan is at the table because its participation often means the difference between dialogue and deadlock. In a world where no single power dictates outcomes, relationships with countries that can navigate multiple spheres of influence are invaluable. Pakistan has positioned itself as one of those pivotal players. For Europe, building strong ties with Pakistan is not only about current interests, but about securing relevance in the future architecture of global power. Ladies and gentlemen, as we look closely at the reality of 2025, one truth becomes clear. Pakistan is not just another country on the map. It is a force that connects regions, balances power, and opens doors to the